Gather round the fire, children, and listen to my tale of the Empires 5 and how they did fail. Of men of virtue, of men of malice, goblins, elves, and merfolk. Listen to this tale and how they are no longer of spoke. For those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat. And if you fail as hard as the Empire's fallen, now that would be quite a feat.
Hey, Danny. Fallen Empires.
Potato.
Was that Scottish or Irish?
No, he was doing Scottish.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's, if anything, that's my native accent.
I have a bad habit of mistaking a Scottish and Irish accent. I'm sure.
What's the thing that Scottish people say? I hit my wife.
Ooh, you know what? All my Scottish quotes come from Tintin, right? Thundering typhoons.
Your Scottish quotes come from the French comic and cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say,
Captain Haddock was Scottish, right?
Yeah, he was. I was wondering if you could hear through the microphone me just like cold staring Danny.
Yeah.
But no, you could have gone with Ochai the New, like even Cravens as a one.
Damn. Too much Braveheart and Mel Gibson over here.
My father's family is from Scotland, and he's actually from New Zealand, but they're only Scottish. And when my parents did their ancestral thing, they're more Scottish than my family in Scotland. So they're very Scottish. Like, they moved to New Zealand and then only bred with other Scottish people for all of time.
All right, but today's Fallen Empires. Can you name me a single fact about Fallen Empires, Danny? Because I feel like this set is just disappeared in the wind.
I think the fact that I know the most is it's the least valuable overall set of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be up there. I mean, there's been a lot of talk lately with the Spider-Man set about, worst sets of all time in Magic. People who say that Marvel's Spider-Man is the worst set in Magic haven't seen the depths that Magic has risen from. Right? This is the kind of a set where it's a failure from sort of top to bottom with small glimmers of, oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
The whole set accumulated is worth a total of $76.
Does that make it the cheapest set of all time?
It just this set just doesn't have much value. Not a lot of cards saw potential play.
You could buy like an entire like sheet of this set, like a cubed box of this, and you wouldn't even be touching like a collector booster.
Yeah.
There are commander decks that cost more than this whole set.
So way more playable.
Has it earned its
Title?
Yeah, or is it just like a product of its time where we've all so many cards have moved on, and like you think of like a lot of these other sets, even like one with like Gaia's Cradle and stuff, right? It's like a lot of them have outstands, but the most of those cards are non-playable cards. And if it doesn't have a couple standouts, then the whole set would go beyond. And I think that's true of a lot of those sets, that if you just took out 2 or 3 cards, it'd be the exact same way, right?
I have heard from people who recounts, though, that even back then, Fallen Empires was a bit of a doo-doo set.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's really sort of the impactful thing to its legacy, right? Is like it was a bad set at the time. It continued to then get further and further replaced by power creep. And then now looking back, it's even more antiquated. So it kind of, we just we hype up that legend, right? It's like, oh, it was bad. And then now these days, it's like, oh, it was fucking terrible.
I guess things become a beating stick quite easily as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
When I was doing research or picking up art and such for editing the last episode, we had The Dark episode 3, which was a really fun one. If you had a chance, go back and check out The Dark. An interesting, different kind of feel and overall atmosphere for a Magic set. A lot of the slices of history and lore from back then are in Duelist magazines that are kept as archives. So you can actually go on the Internet Archive and pull up old Duelist magazines to have a browse and look up. It's actually very cool.
Yeah, a lot of the short stories and stuff for the time were published in The Duelist, which for any listeners who were born, I don't know, in the last like 2-3 decades and haven't heard of The Duelist, that's totally fine. We probably didn't even get it in Australia.
Yeah,
I wouldn't imagine. Like, it probably was only published in the US, but it was a magazine where you could buy a physical magazine to have a look at the previews for the next set, or see the general prices of what things were worth, or see pros talk about things and catch up
It
on
was
the
a
lore.
fairly popular magazine in its time, I believe, as well. And they went for quite a while. There's a lot of fun segments. Maro, who is now the lead designer for Magic, I think it was from episode 2 of The Duelist onwards.
Yeah.
He started doing little like quizzes where he'll present you a board state, and you had to try to find lethal.
Yep.
And it was very much a product of his time, because if you're trying to decipher those in current day's rules, they don't make sense.
Yeah, they don't make any
Interesting.
sense. And yeah, you would have to
Yeah, mana burn or something would
Yeah.
pop up.
Yeah, be like mana burn, damage on the stack, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interrupts and instants being different things.
Yeah.
And you would then have to like write it all out and mail it in to the
Correct.
duelist.
Very old school magazine as well. There was fun little comic strips and such. So you have Phil Foglio doing a lot of cool, fun Magic cards, but in the Duelist magazine, he would do comic strips too as well. Think of it as like almost like a Sunday morning Garfield comic, but Phil Foglio.
So it's not Garfield, it's Richard Garfield.
Garfield. Yeah, Richard Garfield,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but yeah, check it out. Duelist magazine is also kind of, I imagine, where a lot of the lore was hinted towards as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, dredging through these old sets for lore, you find a lot of stuff that is story and has been kept, but a lot of it is like real world lore that some of it's been archived, some of it hasn't, and it's been really interesting going through and looking at comic books, novels, stuff from the Duelist, things from like early print publications other than the Duelist as well, you know, like box inserts, you know, kind of thing. Like some of the lore for how you got it at the time was just the thing that was written, like the flavor text on the back of the booster box.
Yeah, like
right? But the booster packs themselves had a flavor
Information on it,
text.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pre-internet. We're just putting on anything to try and get a hold of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because you couldn't guarantee that you were going to get someone's eye by just like putting it on the website that everybody goes to. There was, you know, like even though there was the internet, there was no like specific heart of the internet. You just all had your own little sub communities. And anyway, Fallen Empires. It's a real problem child for Wizards because this set is infamous for a number of reasons, both as a bad set, both as a weird lore, and then also on top of that, it caused Wizards to make a bunch of changes to how they make sets.
Oh, interesting.
To contextualize, 1994, what was the prior set to Fallen Empires?
The prior set was the Dark.
Gotcha. So we're going straight from the Dark into Fallen Empires.
There might have been a core set in between, but it's like I've mentioned on a previous episode. I am skipping those because they don't have any lore attached to them. They were purely reprints, and because they were purely reprints, a lot of players skipped them as well.
Gotcha.
Because if you already have the cards, why are you going to buy the cards?
Yeah,
right?
true.
And also core sets were printed in white border, so they had a had a tendency to be ugly, right? Or at least, you know, most players in the player base would
Yeah,
feel
I'm not a
ugly.
big fan of white border.
Most people weren't.
Yeah.
There are still the occasional standout there that are like, I fucking love white border. They look great. And
Yeah,
don't know.
Tom B's done his cube with the white border lands for the like, to use as lands. It's really cool, actually.
yeah, I can see it. They do also lend themselves really well to artist customization. I've seen that a lot. People take them to conventions and stuff. But yeah, so Fallen Empires, previously the way that sets used to work, right? Because Magic at this point in history was just on roll after roll after roll, right? It was like the sets are great. The sets are fantastic. They're becoming a thing. Events are starting to take place. Now we have the Pro Tour as a concept in the background, right? So like comic book stores and now local game stores that are kind of a thing are ordering the sets ahead of time in bulk, right? As people that run a store, you know all about like ordering stuff ahead of time. But imagine this when you're completely unavailable, like you don't have any access to previews.
Yeah.
You don't know what the theme of the set's going to be. You don't know what the set's going to be after that.
It's kind of still like how they sell us Pokemon right now.
Yeah, you're just like, there is a new set coming out. Do you want it? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then Fallen Empires comes out and is an absolute stinker of a product that doesn't sell well. And Wizards themselves are, because Wizards used to sell it to stores directly. Wizards is then left with all of the unsold bulk.
Interesting.
Now, of course, the the way that it works is Wizards sells to distributors, and then distributors sell to stores.
Yes.
Right? So then at worst, the distributors are left with the bulk. Wizards has already made their money, right? And this is a thing that we're also finding with the Spider-Man set, is that Spider-Man is, for the most part, sitting in the warehouses of distributors. Wizards has made their money.
Yeah.
And, the product that made its way out to local game stores and all that kind of stuff, yes, it's also sitting on the shelf. But as far as Wizards, like, quarterly concerns are concerned, it sold great.
Yeah, made most of their money back. They don't really care.
Because it's the hype that sells the sets. Fallen Empires is the reason for that. Because, Wizards really felt the pinch, and they had to really dial back the print run for the next couple sets because Fallen Empires failed. Fallen Empires also mechanically has like a crap ton of like really weird counters to keep track of on the board. And this is at a time where people were just keeping track of things with like, not even necessarily dice, but just like glass beads.
Yeah, the glass bead thing is something that you don't see very often anymore, but it was incredibly common if you look at like classic photos of 90s game shops. That's exactly what was
You would have
happening.
bags you'd sell, and that would be your counters, your physical little things to count.
Yeah, so these days we have, your plus and plus encounters, your charge counters, loyalty counters on planeswalkers. They're all fairly like sort of standardized. Yeah, there's the occasional card, since Ikoria, that we've got these like ability counters that might make multiple kinds of counters, but generally cards don't have multiple kinds of counters on them. In this set, you have plus and plus encounters, +1 +0 counters, +0 +1 counters, +2 counters, spore counters, money counters, tide counters, just everything all over the place. And it's an absolute mess.
I imagine as well for onboarding new players, it becomes needlessly confusing.
Every little card needs its own tiny abacus that goes on top of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not to mention on top of that, the rules descriptions for these texts are not entirely standardized yet, and they're all kind of like squeezed together on these like weird pieces of cardboard.
So I guess I believe the Dark was a well-received set. I remember vaguely seeing that it was a decently well-received set. And then after the Dark, you had Fallen Empires. All right, now I'm very curious to see if from the fan reception, if it was just a big outcry of this sucks, or if it was a slow coming together of what's going on here.
What's going on? People still buy all their products at the start when it comes out.
Because back then there wasn't a lot of
because
back then there wasn't a lot of, say, like, for example, a lot of the media around Spider-Man, it says Spider-Man's negative. So as most people that play the game, they pick up to that general zeitgeist very quickly, and they catch on being, hey, Spider-Man's bad. But back then there wasn't that media engine. So did people have to buy themselves, find out, man, I'm not enjoying this set? Or was it, as a general public, people were like, no.
I think the opinion of the general public would have been a lot harder to come by, right? Like, you might have the people at your local game store or the friends that you play with telling you, this set kind of sucks. But then you might just attribute that to, you're just like, well, these guys think the set sucks.
Well, I do know a lot of the games in the early days, and they kind of still send them to us now, but the distributors and like someone like Hasbro would send surveys out to the game stores asking you, how did it sell? How many did you sell in the first week? How much did you have left after the first weekend? And all those things kind of like try to create a picture of what the end product looks like. But like you said, in a time frame where there's far less media and the feedback loop is a little bit slower, all the customers could come by and you could sell out all weekend. And like I said, the next couple of days, people playing the cards, and you're like,
and you're not seeing the return customers and stuff, right? They're like,
exactly.
Man, this magic thing isn't for me. It's not fun.
What was the nail in the coffin for Fallen Empires? Was it the power level wasn't there, or was it just mechanically it was not fun? Or was it the theme didn't stick?
I think it's a number of factors. For me, I look at it from a lore perspective, and the thing about Fallen Empires is it takes place on a continent that we hadn't been to, a continent of Dominaria. We're again still on Dominaria. That's just where sets are in the 90s. It's on a continent that we'd never been to before. It's on a continent that we never touched really again. All of the characters and settings, except for one in this set, are completely dead by the time that we get introduced to them. Because that's the kind of the concept, is that this is, if Antiquities was an archaeological dig uncovering artifacts, if Legends was like hearing about historical cool stories, Fallen Empires is a cautionary tale from a history book. It's like, here are 5 empires. They all died. here's how to not fuck up, right?
okay.
So it's already coming from a perspective of like, these guys suck and they died and now I'm supposed to care about them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like there's a disconnect there.
I do get the kind of concept though, right? Because, you know, like we talk about like ancient Rome, and that's like been perpetrated into what is now like the church, right? And then you have like different kingdoms that have come forward. But then you also have something like the Aztecs, which came and it went, and we can only go by, there's no modern Aztecs per se that follow that empire, and it very fits in just like through history. There's like the Babylonians and stuff where these empires came and they've categorically gone, and it's like all we can do is, you don't have someone who can even pretend to be out of lineage to be like, oh, you know, my great granddad used to tell me the story. It's like, no, they're gone, and we're basically telling the story of this thing that is all speculative, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has real world historical precedence, but I think as a game piece, it's difficult to connect to it when you know, you're introducing me to, say, this entire community of dwarves, and I go, wow, that's really cool. I hope in future sets I get to add more dwarves to my deck. And then the set tells you, like, at the same time, no, these dwarves are dead. You're never going to see them again. Right? Like, here's all these societies. Here's the Acacia, Order of the Ebon Hand, all this kind of stuff. Like, no, they're gone.
It's hard to be committed to a thing when you know there's a finite, like, this is the end of it already. And there's not going to be more support in the future.
I was thinking, you ever started a TV show and you're like, oh, it'd be cool to like see where this goes, and then you look at it and like it got cancelled after season 1. You're like, I don't know if I care
exactly
anymore.
right. It's the same mentality of, do I want to start TV shows if everyone tells me the ending is bad?
Yes, and the process to getting to the ending is not fun. They're like, okay, so the actors are not great and the writing's not great. Some of the settings look pretty cool, but it gets cancelled. At the
This
end.
show's terrible, but the art though, Fallen Empire's art,
it's pretty freaky.
So the last couple sets have been following the color combo thing, where it's like each one of the colors follows a different like thing. Is it the same thing here? We've got
It's almost like a very clear divide. There is the white society, the blue society, the black society, red society, and green society. There are a handful of artifacts. There is like one land in the entire set that are somewhat supportive of just kind of like the general idea of this world of Sarpedia. But yeah, if you were to look at just like all of the red cards, that is the dwarvish society. And then there's also orcs and goblins that exist in this world that are in that too. But yeah, like it's looking at the black cards, you're going to see the through line of, you know, the black society, and then the main key players of the black society, and the main key points of, you know, history of what happens to the black society, right?
I guess instead of having a whole set, they're limited to their run print of cards, and they have to kind of get the story done and dusted in there.
Yeah, and it is a small set, right? Like, it's not a big set. It doesn't feel fully like sort of an actualized world. It's really just kind of like snapshots of like a weird history book. Is really kind of the better feel.
especially when you have cards will have 4 art versions.
Oh yeah.
So what happens is that each artist will have a different depiction of how that card should look, and it really kind of takes you on different journeys thematically.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that was an experiment at the time, and again, something that Wizards went, we're not going to do that again, because it was apparently confusing for players to have a wide variety of arts for the same card. Now we live in a place in Magic where a card gets reprinted, 10, 20, 30 times, and each time gets a new art, or might also have a showcase frame, or might have a borderless frame, all that kind of stuff. We kind of get used more to playing with the mechanics of the card rather than the art. But at the time, if your opponent had Hymn to Turok, but then the next game you saw them with different Hymn to Turoks, you might not notice it at a glance.
Especially with a lack of information, with people playing most of their games like tabletop-y, or maybe in schoolyards, you have a version of a card that you've cracked from a pack. Someone pulls up their version of the card. You're like, hey, you got a fake. No, I have a real card.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Didn't think about that. Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a kid and I would play schoolyard Yu-Gi-Oh! No one really knew the difference between real cards and fake cards. Someone rolls up with a clearly fake card, be like, oh, maybe that's real. I don't know.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I know it's level 13. It has 6 trillion attack, but you
what
never
if it's
know.
a real card?
Yeah. No, so yeah, let's get into the lore of it. Let's finally bite the bullet. 20 minutes into the episode, so yeah, giving a brief summary. Right, this is episode 4 of our lore sets. We are still on Dominaria. We have explored the ancient history of Dominaria with the Elder Dragons and the cool legends of legends that happen throughout the middle. Then we've seen the monumental events of the Brothers' War. Between the Battle of Urza and Mishra and how that came to an end in the cataclysmic explosion of the Golgothian Silex. And then we've explored what happened to society sort of in the immediate aftermath of that, in the dark, right? And how fear can creep into societies and stuff. And then let's just skip off to a different part of Dominaria where none of that matters, really. And we're going to call it Sarpedia. And it is... Yeah, I mean, Dominaria is a very big world, and there are a number of really big and somewhat isolated continents on it. But Sarpedia, more than anything else, is its own little world. It may as well be its own plane. And the Dark Ages are in effect. This is the time period that this set is taking place, is the Dark Ages. So there is this oncoming threat of the Ice Age, right? The creeping ice, the slow change to the continent or the ecosystem.
Because one way or another, Sarpedia, like everyone in Dominaria, was affected by Urza Silex cataclysm.
Yeah, exactly. But the people on Sarpedia have no idea why. Right?
That's right. You're just standing there one day and you just get blown away. You're like, oh.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. They've just noticed the climate's changing. Things are getting worse. People are angry all the time.
Yeah, like imagine if this was... imagine if this was like, I don't know, medieval times and you had wars between like England and France, and then someone over in Guatemala was like, why is the sky getting dark? Right? Like they have no concept of what's going on. They're totally just minding their own business. Correct. And then it's like, oh shit, my entire world's getting fucked up. How'd that happen? Yeah. So the world of Sarpedia, as we're presented to it, has already fallen, right? Like at the time of the setting, it's like Sarpedia has fallen. These are the chronicles of the Sarpedian empires, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And we're going to read through what happens to this, weird world. And best place to start is by going in color wheel. So we're gonna talk about the. Honestly, calling these empires feels like so much of a stretch, but we're going to talk about the Empire of Acacia, which is the White Aligned faction, right? The White Aligned faction is Acacia. They are humans. They're humans. They live in cities. They have knights. They have monks and clerics, and they are vaguely religious, and they're mostly looking after themselves. They're the white faction.
They're the most traditional, like medievally, dark age looking knightly, like medieval themed. It's a bit of a torn European-ish aesthetic.
Yep.
Almost Eastern European, like more Byzantium. Yeah,
this time period of Magic, especially with the commons and uncommons having, or there were really only just commons really, having 4 different arts, the general theming of a place or a people is really hard to pin down, right? There's a lot of different depictions of them. But yes, Acacia has that kind of general European look to it. And that does kind of, again, make sense when there's a religious sect that starts to develop inside the Acacian Empire called the Farrellites. The Farrellites follow a particular guy called Oliver Farrell, and he has particular ideas about the way that the religion should go, and he starts to be like more of a religious leader. He's kind of a real stick in the mud. He's an old curmudgeon. He doesn't want anybody to have fun. And people start following him.
Yeah, why does anyone like this guy, bro? Sounds like a stooge.
Classic.
So,
yeah, I mean,
this guy sucks. Let's just see what let's go with this guy.
Yeah, he seems to be having fun. Let's trust him with all our
He's calling for righteousness and purity of mind and sanctity of body. That sounds like so much fun. Yeah, let's go behind that guy. So, Oliver Farrell is an Acacian priest. He has feelings about the way that they worship. They worship a thing called the Hand of Justice, and that then causes kind of a cultural divide where it separates off Acacia and the Farrellites from the Order of the Ebon Hand, who, for all intents and purposes, are just the evil religion, because they worship someone called the Ebon Praetor.
And these are the Black Manor.
Yeah, these are the
This
Black
is
Manor.
very like back then when it was like white versus Black Manor. You know,
Yeah,
good
you-
versus bad guys.
Yeah, coming out especially of the kind of moral gray areas of the dark, where the white aligned faction were well-meaning but religiously zealot evil, and like there was a lot more morally gray stuff. This really is just the white guys are the good guys and the black guys are the bad guys, which you always kind of have to
the
add
Black
mana.
Manor creatures were like the ghouls
that.
and zombies. You know, these are not good things to have around you.
Yes, yeah, and the Order of the Ebon Hand are really fun as like an evil faction. They are largely led at the start by a character that people will recognize the name of. They are led by Turok. Turok is the leader of the Ebon Hand. He is a influential, charismatic magic man.
I assume he does a lot of singing.
Oh yeah, with his hymns too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of I don't know, religious chanting. There's
we-
also other
Do we
stuff.
have what him looks like?
what him?
So what Torak looks like?
Yes.
Yes, we got he got a card in Modern Horizons.
Exactly.
Correct.
He got a card in Modern Horizons 2, I want to
Yeah.
believe. But yeah, it was a long time before we saw Turok, who was, for all intents and purposes, the head of the faction. Oliver Farrell didn't get a card. Oliver Farrell hasn't got a card, and honestly, that's fine. I'm okay with the curmudgeonly old shithead that leads the purity religion not getting a card, but
Not every footnote in Magic lore needs a card, right?
Yeah.
So,
I also think there's some characters that are supposed to be above a card because we're summoning monsters and as planeswalkers you're summoning beings and creatures and spells. You wouldn't necessarily be able to summon every single even someone you know what I mean? It's some people are above summoning.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean that was the sentiment for the longest time with Urza. It was you can't depict Urza on a card, and even if you were to depict Urza, you'd have to depict him from an era before he became a planeswalker, right? Which is realistically what they did. There is a backside to that one Urza where he turns into a planeswalker, and there's the Unfinity one where he's a head.
jokey character.
The joke one,
so-
right? But it's oh, he's such a powerful character. There's a couple of characters that come to
On a
mind that are
quick
like that.
split, on a tangent real quick, if there is one character, if I can make one request for a Magic character to get a card, it is the Planeswalker from Rabaya.
Oh, I was just going to mention Taysir. Yeah.
Taysir is in the comic depiction, he's just genie-looking man who's built and jacked and also a planeswalker. Old walk.
Is that who you see yourself as a planeswalker, Kang?
Yeah, well, I just want him to have a card. It'd be cool. I want a cool genie planeswalker, bro.
I would love for Taysir to get a card. And for the longest time in Magic lore, he was regarded as the most powerful planeswalker in existence, right?
Interesting.
Until Urza was kind of canonically...
Yeah.
Is it because every third wish he can just be I give wish for 3 more wishes to himself, and it just
Yeah, so he's not technically a genie. Brief aside, right?
he just dresses like one, so
Yeah.
makes sense. He dresses
yeah.
he's just in a vase or something.
No, he's just always...
And also
half in a pot.
Rabaya is a plane that we're not going to revisit.
Yes,
so.
yeah. So that's why I'll do this brief little thing here, right? Because we did skip past Arabian Nights. I did that intentionally. Arabian Nights didn't really have a lot of lore to it, but the plane itself of Rabia, right? At least has Taysir. Weird thing about the plane of Rabia. This is totally separate from Fallen Empires. Don't get them mixed up. Rabia is 1,000 worlds reflected on itself. Right? It's meant to be like the 1001 Arabian Nights, right? They're all being retold, and they're all slightly different versions of exactly the same people. But for some reason, Taysir, instead of being someone that was reflected on all 1,000 worlds, he was only reflected 5 times, which was like a prophesized thing that it's if you're only, you're the one who was born 5 times. And
There's 5 mana of magic.
yeah, exactly. And then pretty much he tries to unify all 5 versions of himself into the same person. There's a lady that's trying to stop him, but she doesn't. And he gets all 5 versions of himself, which was a nomad, a bad guy, a sword guy, a baby, and like a beggar, all into the same person.
You walk into a barn.
Yep. And become the same guy.
They all get in the same trench coat.
Yeah. Then he leaves, and the lady was so pissed off that he left that she sealed off Rabia forever. So no one can ever go to Rabia again.
Is the lady relevant or only within that?
No,
She was relevant for that moment.
This is the writer saying no. Don't. We're not going back.
It's like we can have this Arabian-inspired planeswalker, and he's going to be around, and he shows up a lot in like the comics and stuff.
Correct.
I will be talking about him in Ice Age, because he's pretty relevant there. But yeah, he's just.
But anyway, Modern Horizons 4, maybe. Let's see it happen. But right now it's Fallen Empires, right?
Yeah.
So
he would be a 5-color planeswalker.
dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
Modern Horizons sets are already crazy in power level. Let's give me the most powerful planeswalker of old lore.
Taysir of Rabia, and he comes into play and he makes 4 token copies of himself that aren't legendary.
His ulti is
that is pretty cool. Actually,
his ulti is just was it Shahrazad?
Yeah, Charizard.
Charizard, and just you have to do a sub game.
Yeah. But all 5 of it's like, but you begin the sub game with the other 4 is still in play.
His
and the
ulti
other
is
4
annoy
all
your opponent enough to just surrender.
Yeah. So, okay. Back to the main thing at hand. Let's go away from the really interesting, cool Arabian guy and come back to Fallen Empires, if we could, for a moment. So the Order of the Ebon Hand are going to be led by Turok. And he's an evil guy. Like he casts dark spells. He worships this thing called the Ebon Praetor, which there is an art and a card for it in this set. It's a demon that's getting a goblin and a rabbit married. I don't know what the fuck is happening there.
That is exactly the depiction of the art you're describing.
It does have it's like a little fever dreamy. It reminds me a lot of Alice in Wonderland kind of situation.
He's officiating a wedding in someone's psyche, right? And it's just like, it's fucking strange.
It's got to be a sacrifice, right? Because in the rules text of Ebon Praetor, it's you sacrifice a creature. In the art, it looks like they're sacrificing a small little critter.
Yeah, I could see that. That actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's an art that requires interpretation.
For sure.
It's not just like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's an Ebon Praetor. Turok leads it. Turok dies pretty quickly. He gets killed when he comes into conflict with the Acacian Empire. Right now, the good guys and the bad guys are fighting, and the leader dies. And going back to Oliver Farrell, and the kind of piece of shit that he is in love with a woman, and that woman doesn't want him. So then he accuses her of being Turok reborn, and like sets a religious crusade on her.
Oh, it's like old timey. You don't like me. You're a witch. Burn the witch.
Yeah, exactly. It's the.
We're back to the dark.
It's like what? You don't want to date me? You bitch. You're an evil god. Fucking killer. So Oliver Farrell, big old piece of shit. To give more of a general overview, the Blue Empire are the Vidalian merfolk. They're actually pretty interesting.
Damn, could have fooled me as the Homerids.
Well, yes, that's the thing. Is like I said, everyone in this world dies, and I'm only going to touch on the merfolk kind of briefly because their one goes super quickly. They
all drown.
That would be fucking.
They were genetically unable to live in their own environment.
So the merfolk storyline effectively goes like this: who would win in a fight between a bunch of fish and a bunch of crabs? And
Team Crab.
The answer is crab.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The good guys won for once.
Yeah, so the Vidalian merfolk are a race of entirely water-based merfolk. I guess I do need to make that distinction because some magic merfolk have legs, right? Yeah. Like the Zendikar ones and stuff.
That being said, though, Danny, if you were versing man-sized lobster, do you think you could win the fight?
Well, probably not.
Yeah.
There's a little
That's why they lost.
hard shell, right?
Look at the art for that hominid, bro. You reckon you can beat that guy? That guy's huge.
Yeah, I ain't beating that guy.
He's got
No.
claws.
That guy's fucking my shit up.
I mean, yeah. Having looked at the hominids have a fuck ton of advantages over just generic fish people, over most people. Honestly, they are large. They are heavily armored naturally. They come with weapons already attached to their bodies,
true.
and they live practically forever.
I've heard if you boil them,
damn.
they don't actually feel any pain. So
And great with butter.
Well, yeah, that's true. Allow me to produce this lobster bisque.
My favorite is the hominid warrior, which both has claws and is holding a sword in the claw.
He's doubled down.
Yeah.
So
It's like, yeah, if you can knock the sword out of his hands, haha, here's 2 more pincers. Yeah, so the merfolk get pretty mercilessly pushed out of their territory whilst being, mostly massacred by the hominids, right? Hominids have a baby form. Those are called camarids. That's really just a sort of thing to mention that there are hominids and camarids, and they're exactly the same thing. There is a card in the set called Hominid Spawning Bed, and it makes camarids. So that's why that exists.
yeah, right.
Right?
I always wondered why that, because I actually own a
Yeah.
hominid spawning point bed just because it's funny. But
Yeah, you're like, why the fuck are all these hominids called hominids, but it makes a token called a camarid?
it's made its way into many decks,
Yeah.
and then slowly,
really?
yeah. And then after a few times of playing, I'm like, this needs to come out.
Yeah, so the camarids and hominids have a kind of interesting mechanic that I'd like to see revisited and done actually well, which is the tide counters. Tide counters are interesting. The idea is that they gain 1 every upkeep, and then they are either better or neutral or bad based on how many counters you have.
Ooh.
When the tide is low, right, when you get 1 counter, they get small. Then when you go to 2 counters, the tide is like normal, and they get no bonuses and no detriments whatsoever. So you've already had your creature in play for 2 turns, and it went from being bad to mediocre. Then when they get their 3rd counter, they're great. And then the next turn, they reset back to 1.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
So it's like the tide rises and falls.
Yeah.
And they go from, it could be done a lot better. Honestly, if you just had them start at like a base level and then they get better and better and then they reset, that would probably be fine. But because they're 1994 blue creatures, they have to get like -2/-2 when they come into play,
It's
The
kind
blue
of like
creatures weren't allowed to be good, right?
you have to puzzle your attacks together to be like, in 2 turns, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, and the reason I'd say it would be fun to bring it back is because I feel like you can do some fun things like that. Like imagine a combat trick that like raises it puts a tide counter on all your guys. Like you raise the C preeminently, and they go, oh, they're good. But then at the end of the turn, you lose 2 tide counters or whatever, right? It seems like it could be fun.
There was definitely a mixture of like art direction going on for the mermaid guys. Like this, like we have the Voldarian mage.
Oh, dude.
That's one kind of merfolk.
Yeah. That's like King Atlantis
so
style.
many abs.
Yeah, he's many abs, looks a little alien. Then you've got someone like the Voldarian Knights, which is like very like articulated body parts and things.
Yeah, explain to me how that one works. That one has a fish tail, but it's sitting on a horse.
It's sitting on a horse. It has to sit
Side
sideways
saddle.
like a damsel at all times.
yeah.
Yeah, how does the gravity of that even fucking work underwater, right?
The
And
horses for sure.
My favorite
Yeah.
is the Silver Knight Priest, which literally just is just the top torso and then the body of a fish coming directly out of his neck.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
favorite of that is the Voldaren Mage by Susan Van Camp, where it just looks like a guy holding his breath underwater.
That is just a man, and there is a fish jumping at him.
He's just there now. For me, I like to imagine that it's a mage got teleported underwater, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, he planes walked in and he's like, I missed.
Yeah.
He exists for all of like
He's
a
trying
few
to.
seconds.
Yeah, he's trying to cast a spell of water breathing.
You're the arbiter of all law and knowledge, Matt. Yeah, can you
Yes.
miswalk into like a place?
Can you mist walk?
Like miss if you
planeswalk
planeswalk in and
accidentally somewhere
just
else.
get in the wrong spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hypothetically. Yeah. For sure.
Is it like what is the process of planeswalking? What is happening?
Yeah, I guess this is an interesting thing to bring up. Planeswalking looks and feels differently for every planeswalker.
Okay.
It is a way of moving from one place to another through the blind eternity. So you're not like teleporting, you are physically passing through the fabric between realms. For some planeswalkers, It's apparently very fun. For some planeswalkers, it's very painful. And it always looks different. Like Chandra, like sets fire to the air and steps through, whereas like when Venser would do it, it's like he melts into water and just like falls through reality. Or if you're the Wanderer, it feels like all of a sudden the forces of nature rip you apart at a molecular level and then rebuild you wherever you are. So that's why you need a Planeswalker Spark, is basically you need to pass through space, and in space, in the Blind Eternities, gravity is pulling you in literally every direction. So you need a Planeswalker Spark to bind your body together, because any human or humanoid race could find themselves in the Blind Eternities, but if they did, they would just be ripped apart.
Okay.
And because Eldrazi exist in like a whole bunch of different dimensional realities that don't make sense to us, that's how they can survive.
Interesting.
Do they have a destination in mind when you planeswalk? Like, do you know your destination?
You have to have been to a plane before, or you can follow another planeswalker's trail. Like another planeswalker can tell you where they're going, and then you can kind of planeswalk alongside them. It would kind of be like if you just wandered into the bush. If you didn't know where you were going, you'd just be wandering aimlessly. But if someone told you a general direction, you could probably find your way to that place.
Yeah.
And the better you become at planeswalking, the better you become at getting to a particular place in the right place. In the original, not the original, but the first time that we went back to Dominaria, Jace is able to planeswalk onto a moving weatherlight, which is seen as incredible. Right, like he's able to planeswalk onto something specifically, and that thing is moving. As
Because normally it'd be like a physical position, and he's just like moving through there. Because if you missed it, he'd like just fall through the air. Then
yeah, exactly. You would just like planeswalk into the middle of the
It was
sky.
like Jace flexing his like acumen, you know.
Yes, and I think that was only really because there was a bunch of other planeswalkers in the same space, so he was probably able to like hone in on them. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's a bunch of.
I've always liked to imagine that planeswalking is like Back to the Future. 88 miles per hour. Bang.
Just run straight through.
Yeah, that would be particularly good. There was, and I hate that I'm going to bring this up, but in War of the Spark Forsaken, which I really hope will eventually become non-canon. It's a whole thing. Is
that the second book?
That's the second.
It's the one that no one likes.
Yeah,
it's the one that no one, even the author, likes.
Because I listened to the first one of that series, and then I looked at the Google reviews for the audiobook for the second one, and they were not good. And I was like, do I do this or not do this?
Yeah, in that one, Kaya figures out how to take another person with her when she planeswalks by like. She does that like phase walk thing that she can do.
Yeah.
And then the little girl physically steps into the space where she is. Ooh. And so then Kaya is able to like unphase like the outside of her body, but leave the inside of her body there, and then planeswalk while holding her breath.
She is the wardrobe from Narnia. She just get in me. Wow.
Yeah. Get in, losers. We're going shopping.
Man, that's a child.
Yeah, it's fine. No one will miss Rat.
What's a Kai up to in 2025? Actually, don't answer that.
Are we canceling Kaya right now? Is
I don't know.
Anyway. There's a space missing in our resume.
All right, so Fallen Empires. Yes.
Yeah, Fallen Empires. Merfolk.
Yes,
Camarids.
Merfolk Empire got destroyed by Homerids, the superior Homerids.
Yes. I guess fun, interesting fact about the Vidalian Merfolk. They're called the Vidalians because they live in a space called the Voda Sea. The Voda Sea is named after an enormous beast that lives there, which did get a card. In Commander Legends, there is a
Slim Voda?
Slin Voda.
Ah, cool. I never knew that.
Slin Voda is a Leviathan.
Good memory.
That the remnants of this Merfolk Empire build a city on the back of it. So Slin Voda is just kind of like slowly swimming through the oceans, and there's a Merfolk Empire that exists on its back.
Damn, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
That is pretty cool. And also, as a random thing that got a card, right? Because here's the thing. There are elements of Fallen Empires that are really interesting. You mentioned the Svelenite priest or whatever before.
Yep.
Svelenite means that they are a worshiper of Svelun, who also got a card in Modern Horizons 3 as Svelun of it's like they're the merfolk god.
Oh.
There's a merfolk god of them.
Dude, Modern Horizons is just consistently the deep cut lore of Magic as card forms.
Yeah, if you look at a card from Modern Horizons, there is a good chance that it made someone go, "Yes, finally!"
Oh, the Svelun is the Seb McKinnon art.
Yeah,
Svelun
that's
of the Sea and
awesome art.
Sky. Yeah. It's
such an
random merfolk
innocuous card because that card is a really cool card, but I just never made the connection.
Yeah,
I know we don't have Seb McKinnon as an artist in Magic anymore, and I can't remember the reason, but I know it's probably not ideal. But real shame because one of the easily my favorite.
Yeah,
Magic
I love how
artists.
ethereal the art for that is, especially for something that is supposed to be depicted as a god.
Yeah. I believe he was cancelled because of Canadian trucker.
Yeah, it was the
protests.
anti-vax protest,
Yeah.
right? That got really messy around
Yeah.
that political climate.
Yes. And he got very supportive of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then Wizards went, no.
As a business, right? Wizards of the Coast needs to stay out of controversial light. If there's a chance that someone you are attached to is stuck around any sort of potential negative connotation, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So-
So I guess when they have a delge of other artists to deal with. and
Exactly.
The Slin Voda has a kicker when it enters, and if it was kicked, return all creatures to their own hands except for merfolk, krakens, leviathans, octopus, and serpents.
Ooh, does not lame lobsters.
Yeah,
well, they're at war with the Camerids, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. So,
Wait,
yes.
can you imagine when did Commander Legends come out? What, 3-4 years ago?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
gotta
about
be
4 years ago now.
Yeah, it's got to be
4
like
5
4 or
maybe.
5.
And when did Fallen Empires come out? 30 years ago?
Wait.
Yeah, 1994.
How good would it be if this Lin Voda came out with kicker, return all Camerids and hominids to their hands,
Yeah.
and people are like, "What
What the fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah. So, fun little reference to Fallen Empires. In the second unset, there is a card called Old Fogey, which is the concept that is that it's meant to be an old Magic player because it has like a shit ton of like old mechanics on it, like flanking and banding, and it has protection from hominids. Yeah, and so the joke is that like it's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
It's the Old Fogey.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
this kind of stuff.
Back in my day.
Yeah, exactly.
I was there, man.
Incredibly good Australian accent, Nick. But I was about to get Wolf Creek there for a second.
Man, I'm just really keen for Modern Horizons 4 when we get a return of the Hominid Empire. So,
Yeah. So about that.
ooh, they all got cooked.
No, they didn't. They just don't show up. Is the thing, right?
They were too delicious.
So the hominids swarm through the Voda Sea. They butcher and push out all of the merfolk that are there. Some of the merfolk are able to like get on the back of this leviathan and just fuck off. And the encroaching ice causes a big ravine to open in the ocean. Like this giant like volcanic vent tunnel, right? And the hominids go, ooh, cool, and then just wander through the vent and are able to technically make it to the rest of Dominaria.
Interesting.
They just leave Sarpedia behind.
They're done with it.
So they
It's like when we turn all the lights off and put the moth thing on.
yeah, it'd be like going into I don't know, say like a shed that had a shit ton of spiders in it. You go in, you kill all the spiders, and then you just leave. Like you weren't even going to use that
Yeah.
shed. The hominids come in, they massacre the merfolk, and then they don't even live there.
They're like, we were just here for the massacring.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that was the fun bit.
So then the hominids have kind of shown up since then. In again, like the Dominaria set, the very first time we went back to them, there is a single common that is a hominid, and it's like a hominid explorer because he's on land.
He's still going.
Yeah.
He's still finding more merfolk to kill.
So somewhere on Dominaria, in the endless expanses of the ocean, are hominids. They are like extremely good at warfare and are like a very invasive species, but because the ocean is so big, no one cares.
Yeah. They're off invading shit that nobody cares about.
Maybe they are the answer to Phyrexia.
Yeah, maybe.
I've not seen a Phyrexian lobster.
That was the strategy. They should have Pied Piped the Humerids over to the Phyrexian place.
God, how fucking terrifying would that be?
Yeah, it
though?
would be.
All of a
game
sudden,
over.
out of the ocean, you're like, we're fine. We've defended ourselves from the Phyrexians, and then these like oily lobsters ascend from the deep, and you're like, oh,
Fuck.
shit.
All right. Anyway, moving on. So we had the blue empires. All right. And then-
Merfolk lobsters ate them.
Yep.
The white people are the religious zealots. They go to war with the Black Mana Empire. They're evil devil worshippers, right? The Red Empire are the dwarves, which is such a shame because this is realistically the first time that we see dwarves, right? There
were some dwarf characters in Legends, but this is the first like civilization, I guess, kind of stuff we're touching on.
Yeah. So Sarpedia had an entire faction of dwarves, right? And we don't really see dwarves again until Otaria, which is like Onslaught and Odyssey block, right? Years and years and years and years down the track. And so we have this entire society of dwarves. They are exactly what you would expect for dwarves, except really they kind of live mostly above ground, right? They're blacksmiths and miners and all this kind of stuff.
Real D&D kind of dwarfy situation.
Yeah, exactly. You can probably imagine them with Scottish accents. They have big beards and mustaches and all that kind of stuff. They are going to get massacred by orcs. So they very much have the same storyline that kind of happened just before The Hobbit, right? Where dwarves left because orcs and goblins ate them.
Yeah. And the orcs just happened to have claws on both of their hands.
They're called
There's a lot of massacring happening here.
orcsbusters.
Orcamids.
Yeah. So, man.
I will say that the orcs do look more fearsome than the dwarves.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, the dwarves aren't doing a lot to sell their case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really not. Is that I get it. It's a shame, but it's very true. The dwarves are an interesting idea, but there's nothing interesting with their society.
correct.
Like I cannot for the life of me remember what their empire is even called. It's just the dwarven society.
The orcs, right? That seems like there's also a lot of goblins. Is it more of a general green skins together, orcs and goblins together as a nation?
Yeah,
Right.
it is. And that's mechanically reflected in the set, that there are orcs that care about orcs, but there's also orcs that care about orcs and goblins, and there's goblins that also care about orcs.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, it's one of those minor distinctions that, yeah, like that was also true in Lord of the Rings, right? Like orcs and goblins are like kind of the same race, but like they're also kind of not. They're really more cultural differences, but they all kind of like
Unite together.
up together, in theory.
There's some real artistic deviation between what the orcs and goblins look like.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
From one card to the next, it's a completely different art design. Still some very playable cards in here, though, like things like Goblin Warrens and Goblin War Drums. They're things that have been reprinted and played in Goblin decks today. They're not very bad, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you were coming off the dark, hey, you've actually got more cards to support your goblins that people used to religiously hate.
The same is true that like the dwarf art direction is a little all over the place. Like look at Dwarven Armorer. This looks like a little genie man that you were describing earlier.
Yep.
It's like, what's going on there?
It's hard to say. And, there's probably also 4 different arts for that card, all of which look entirely different.
True.
And then, final empire, before I get into just like the brief little sort of through line story, is the Green Empire, which are the elves, right? These are elves that live in the forests, and they are very nature inclined, and they are full of druids and shamans and all this kind of stuff. And they're the ones that are feeling the effects of the encroaching ice age, the dark ages, the most, because their food sources are fucked up. Like they are starving as a civilization. So they get contacted by this guy called Robin Davies, or Riod Dai, he sometimes goes by. Sometimes Ice Eyes or Robin Eyes. He's so many fucking names. He's kind of, for all intents and purposes, one of the main characters of the set. He ties together literally the fall of all of the empires. He starts off in the Acacian Empire. he then defects to the Ebon Hand. In the Ebon Hand, he sees what this guy Endrick Sar, who some people also might recognize. Master Breeder, that's the one. Never wears a condom.
His children are real ugly, though.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, because Robin sees what he's doing, where he's figured out how to make these thralls. Allegedly in story, and this is like allegedly, it's like secondhand information. We don't know whether its lore makes sense. We don't know whether it was a lie inside of the lore. He learnt it from a Phyrexian that he interrogated.
Okay.
Where they figured out how, because obviously Phyrexians make like flesh people. He figured out how to make people out of infusing black mana into flesh, right? To like make it into something new. And the Phyrexian criticizes him because he's like, nah, man, our flesh golems are way better than your flesh golems. Because your ones like don't have any minds and all this kind of stuff. So Robin sees all that stuff and he goes, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm going to defect again from the Order of the Ebon Hand to go do some like mercantile trading with the elves. And the elves, they're having this huge food crisis. Okay, well, I'm going to contact some of their like ethically compromised druids and I'm going to teach them how to make flesh golems. And the elves go, maybe not flesh golems. We don't really eat meat. What we do eat, though, is lots of plants. So what if we use that exact same kind of magic thrall production and applied it to fungus? And then they create the Thalids.
Right.
So the elves grow an entire race so they can harvest and eat them. And
brutal.
Yeah, exactly. Fungus being fungus is really fucking good at making more of itself and being
Are these
really
thalids,
hard to kill.
These funguses, are they conscious?
Kind of.
Kind of.
They are...
Big restaurants, you and me, Kang. We're big restaurant guys, right?
Yeah.
I like going to restaurants and trying different things. Big fan of like the beef
I
and
would
the
eat
chicken.
these guys.
Yeah, I was thinking, the fact that they're semi-sentient and can be farmed, does that make you more endeared to eating them or less endeared to eating them?
Nah, because they're mushroom people, right? There's so many of them.
Well, I like
So here's the thing. Here's the question, right? Mushroom people, you cut it off. Is that a vegetarian steak?
Yeah, true. Or is
Ooh.
it now considered a meat?
Yeah, because it came from a sentient life form that they make groups and families and stuff, but it's fungus. Like, is that vegetarian?
Yeah. Does it? What makes something meat? Is it because it was living beforehand?
Yeah, because it's flesh.
Yeah.
But it's flesh in the same way that you have like flesh of like an onion or like a pumpkin.
I guess meat is like protein fibers, right? You know what I mean?
Does mushroom has protein fibers in it, right?
I don't know. What is a mushroom constructed out of?
Mushroom.
It's an old mushroom all the way down, baby.
Yeah, and it's like yeah. Anyway, where do you draw the line? It's a fun ethical question.
Regardless, I would eat a thalid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Face first,
Yeah.
right?
Do they have faces?
Not all of them do.
Not
Yeah.
all of them do?
No, thalids look
I'll
totally
eat the
different.
ugly ones.
Thalids like.
What are you doing with the
fungus.
good looking ones?
They're good enough for the elves, right?
Thalids like fungus come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, right?
Some
Like-
of them don't look good. There's one of them called a thorn thalid. Nah,
yeah, no,
too chewy.
thorns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like a cactus.
Yeah, but they're the ones you would
not
like,
really.
crush up and put on like a
Brisket, like
yeah.
a slow cooker.
Ooh, yeah, maybe
40
it's more,
hour slow cooker.
Maybe it's more like a delicacy, like eating blowfish, where you can get like elements of the flesh around it, but you don't want to eat the whole thing.
Maybe it was a miscommunication. Like they were supposed to breed them, and the guy was like, he started eating them. He's like,
Like,
I think you should feed on them.
I was really hungry.
So the way that this goes is not good for the elves, right? Because if there's any ethical lesson to learn from this, don't create an entire race to become cattle, because then they'll be really good at wanting to overthrow you.
Common theme in Fallen Empires, all these empires sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The White Empire, and I'll go into this more, but the White Empire effectively creates a splinter faction, which is the Black Empire, and they're gonna
destroy each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
The Blue Empire was just destroyed by a better Blue Empire that didn't even give a fuck about their territory to begin with. And the Green Empire is going to die at the hands of its own food source.
Oops.
I actually think it's the wrong name. It should be called the Risen Empires.
Yeah.
Because
The Coral Empires survive.
the Black Empire destroyed the white one. The blue
I
one.
thought it was self-destructive.
Yeah, well, the Black Empire then destroys itself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't worry about that. Shoots the argument in
Oops.
their foot.
Yeah.
But the Thalids,
Once again, crabs win.
And then if the Thalids meet the Homerids and you get that thing, you know where there's the cordyceps that take over the ants and make them walk
my
around.
God, yeah.
Imagine
No
if you
good.
Thalid.
That's how we got
hominids.
Warhammer 40k.
Fungal
Yeah.
lobsters.
Yeah, fungal lobsters.
Fungipids.
The ultimate delicacy. You get to eat it once and then you get turned into a zombie.
Yes. So then, okay, yeah. So the Thalids are going to just completely fuck up Elvish society, right? Like they grow out of control. They're way too good at existing, right? Because Thalids in this set get these things called spore counters. They get them slowly over time, and you can eventually remove the spore counters to make sapperlings. I think that is meant to represent the idea that they grow food.
Yeah.
They grow food that you can then harvest, right? Like it eventually flowers, and you can eat the flower, right? The fruit, whatever it is. That's the sapperling. But the fungus is also really fucking good at self-replicating, and it's fungus, so it just like spreads in the air, and yeah, they just eat the elves, right?
I get it. Like you've taken something that's already great at rapidly reproducing itself like a fungus and then giving it sentience where they'll be like, well, no, we want to. Instead of just being capable of doing it, now they want to.
The sentience part was the bad idea. Like, if you already have mushrooms, just grow mushrooms.
It's like, they talk about like replicating meat, but you're growing it in like a petri dish.
Yeah.
It's like that concept is like, well, don't give it the thought, don't give
Don't
it the
don't
brain.
make the brain.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just grow the thigh muscle. Don't also give it a head and arms and legs. Because that's the thing, is what if fungus could also stand up and hit you? Because yeah, like they're growing thorns and shit. They're able to wield weaponry. They can like plot and plan and do all sorts of stuff. They effectively become kind of the same sentient intelligence as like a pack of wolves. Like very smart at tracking and killing things, but no, they're not going to make like tools and clothes and stuff. So then that same guy, that Robin, right? He just kind of leaves the elves to do their own thing.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this didn't work.
Yeah. And he continues his mercantile trade down the road to the goblins and orcs. And he teaches them how to do a bunch of really cool stuff, like make goblin grenades and how to use war drums to inspire their societies and how to make kites to fly on and all this kind of stuff. And
And then he's like, have you guys heard of mushrooms?
he kind of accidentally skips their civilizations forward by like 50 to 60 years.
Based on
right?
the gameplay depiction of Goblin Grenade, though, those goblins are really bad at using the grenades.
Oh, yeah,
game,
because they're
yeah.
using goblins as grenades.
Yeah.
You know,
Just blow yourself up.
They're just like, what if I put explosives in my mouth and I had my cousin throw me?
Did you see that farmer over east who found a grenade?
Oh,
Yeah?
no, I didn't.
Yeah, he found it with his bobcat.
floor?
Yeah, in the dirt. And because he
Jesus.
bought a plot of land that had been cleared from
Is that a bit of a
training.
panic moment? Like you're in a tractor and
Well-
you hit a grenade, you're like, oh, fuck.
There's a Channel 7 interview of him because he got in a lot of trouble because he found it and he threw it away from himself really quickly once he picked it up.
Yeah, I would as well.
And then once he realized it didn't blow up, he's like, oh, I guess I can do whatever I want with it. So he used the grenade and blew up like a giant mound of like rocks or something. And then,
see?
but because the grenade went off, people heard the explosion and got
Yeah.
reported. And then he obviously got in trouble for using
Nah.
an active weapon.
Yeah,
Find his
yeah.
keepers, bro.
And they interviewed his wife, and she's like, I just don't know why I'd do something so stupid.
Every dude out there was like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You
It's-
find a grenade, find his keepers.
Why-
You find the nearest thing, was like, oh man, I want to blow something up.
Yeah.
His wife's interview is just like, oh, fucking Robert. Yeah, well, I mean, I lived in Ridgewood for a while, northern suburbs, obviously been fairly recently developed in like the last 15, 20 years, right? There used to be mines up in that area, and because it was like a testing field, right? So yeah, apparently when they were like leveling stuff to make the suburbs, they had to, sort
Check
of do
first.
it's like the dial before you dig, but for mines, right? It's like, oh, I'm not going to hit a gas mine. A gas vein, I might actually just hit.
But
a
it's
mine.
like that's like the legendary find for anyone whose hobby is metal. Like when you get the metal detector and you go digging around.
Oh, yeah.
The legendary find is like, oh my god, I finally did it! I found a grenade in the floor. And you as your prize for yourself is that you get to blow something up now. It's like caution, don't blow yourself up.
Yeah,
But your prize is you get to go blow up a tree.
Well, that's like it was from like World War II, the training area. So it was like the guy, like the policeman, was like, he easily could have blown his entire face off. Like,
oh my god, yeah, yeah. Like it's not your reward that you get to blow stuff up; it's your reward that you got to keep your legs.
yeah, he didn't blow out.
Good on the grenade though for not for still being good this many years after.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's create a little scenario, right? So the fallen empires is the merfolks,
Yeah.
the religious
elves.
white civilization, the elves, the dwarves.
Yep.
And the ebon
And
hand.
the Ebon Hand, the evil people.
Oh, because we're counting the black one as the okay.
Because it's
Yeah.
the whole white black mechanic is the idea of like you've created your own enemy and the civil war happens and it's destructive
Yes.
of both sides.
And the black aligned empire is also creating thralls.
Okay.
So they're making flesh things.
Yeah. Race to the bottom. Who wins between the dwarves and the merfolk?
Merfolk have upper hand. Have you seen a dwarf
Yep.
in water?
Yeah, it's true.
True, he can't even fight because he's
But-
below the. He can't.
But there'll be a lot
he's
of
too
egging
short.
on of dwarves being like, "I get on land, you dumbasses."
have
And then
you-
these
have you-
merfolk are like, "No, come fight us."
Yeah, exactly. They just yell insults each other across the beach, right?
Right, who's winning then? Who are we going with? What do you reckon?
Merfolk.
You're on the merfolk. What do you reckon?
I think
Matt?
it goes to a stalemate. But yeah, I would favor the merfolk.
All right, so merfolk. So the dwarves extinct in this game of
Gone.
combat.
Yes.
All right.
Honestly, the dwarves probably would have went first.
Yep.
All right. Then merfolk, elves. Who's getting the upper hand?
Elves.
What's the elves on this Arcadia? Mercadia?
Sarpadia. You
What's-
did just name two other places in Magic. Yeah.
Brains like
They also weren't super original with names back then. So
No, they kind of weren't.
nah, elves get it right because while the merfolk are talking shit, the elves have arrows.
Oh, true,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's true. The elves have the
gets
ability for technology. They could probably build rafts and
See,
build a dam.
The merfolk's going to throw their little tritons, but it's like they got one shot, right? And the elves will have multiple.
And then the merfolk has to be like, "Can you throw it back? Can I have it back now?" No fair.
they can only fight on atolls where any missed triton will go over the top and then into the water on the other side.
Exactly.
yeah. They just have to find like high floating like coral reefs so that they could like stand on them, and then the merfolk can kind of come to them and they can just sort of stab down.
Yeah, far too many caveats that are required, right?
Yeah, and that's I mean honestly this kind of conversation has brought up the main issue with the 5 factions is
They're
that
lame.
they don't interact.
Yeah.
None of them meet other ones.
It's why they lost to themselves and
Yeah.
they didn't lose to each other really.
Do you think this is what like aliens, like, you know, the whole theory of like aliens would look down at us as a planet fighting each other, and they're like, that's crazy. This whole like the aliens are like, there's like billions of aliens out here that you should be fighting that's going to kill you, and you guys are still fighting each other. Crazy.
No,
Do you
I
think
bet
that's-
they got betting rings.
And
It's entertainment for them.
is this like
They got TV dialed in. It's like 7 p.m. our time. We've got to fight. We've got to see the humans fight.
as like the rest of Dominaria looking at Sarpadia being like, this is the lamest like Cold Wars going on that I've ever seen in my life. Like they see the dwarves and the orcs kind of like slapping each other with like makeshift weapons, and they're like,
Yep.
Not our problem.
Yeah, yeah, and our boy Robin, right? Like he's responsible for the dwarves and the orcs hating each other because he the dwarves and the orcs and the goblins. He gives the goblins all these like crazy ideas about warfare, and then he goes, may have pushed it too far. Goes to the dwarves and like teaches them about warfare. And then fucks off at kind of the right moment, like the pivotal moment when the orcs and goblins are about to attack the dwarves. And then without his leadership, the dwarves get massacred. Yeah. And then the Thalids eat the goblins, and then then
Wait, the Thalids eat the goblins as well?
yeah.
Damn,
Yeah, they
salads
do.
are OP.
Yeah, and the thralls, like those flesh thingies of the Ebon Hand, which I haven't really talked about much. They're just flesh things, right? You kill a person, you take away the soul, you take all the bits, and you just make a thing. You call it a thrall. They just eat everybody else.
Interesting.
Wow, the Thralls won.
Yep.
So you
Damn, dude, Master Breeder got him in the end.
You got
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he totally got himself as well. Endrixar
true.
was like
Yeah,
long
he got-
dead.
somewhere in the deep ocean of Dominaria. There's a giant mushroom now known as Sarpedia, and it's just crawling with little thrall guys.
So that's a fun thing, right? That's the fun kind of like end state of Sarpedia. And I did want to talk about another little thing in here as well. But the end state of Sarpedia is going to be that the entire continent, the oceans are empty, right? The Camarids and Homerids have come through, they've wiped out all the fish people, and then they're fucked off.
My stupid little brain meant I thought they were empty of water, and I was like,
well,
but yeah, I see what you mean. They're empty of other things.
Empty of civilization, right? Then the Thalids and the Thralls, the like mindless semi-life, eat everything else, and so it's just Thalids and Thralls. But for some reason,
combo.
yeah, right. For some reason, the Thalids and Thralls are both so good at persisting and also making more of themselves, because I guess thralls aren't super hard to make, even if you don't have much of a mind. You just kind of like, oh no, a thrall died, chop up bits of the other one and smush them together. Later on, like flash forwards to when Yawgmoth invades the plane, Sarpedia is fine, because the Phyrexians can't beat the Thalids and the Thralls. They get beaten back.
The perfected beings, dude.
Is it they can't, or they get there and they're like, we don't need this.
This is irrelevant for us.
The Phyrexians get their asses handed to them because the Thralls are able to just like hold off. They have a similar strength to the Phyrexians in that they don't tire, they don't need food or anything like that. But
And they breed.
Yeah, but they can't be infiltrated as a society.
Hey, you don't interrupt our fucking...
They don't have society, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like the whole subterfuge element of the Phyrexians just doesn't work on them. And then the Thalids and the entire time are doing the same thing, where they're just like self-replicating and being mindless and not having to eat.
You can't conquer us. We're too stupid.
100%.
Ajani goes there to get these the secrets on how they fight, and he's like, they're just all stupid.
They're just dumbasses.
It's like if European settlers came to an island and tried to conquer it, but the only life that was there was giant cockroaches.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
Not worth it.
it's not fucking worth it, right? Like, there's nothing we can do. We can't give these guys smallpox blankets. Nothing works.
In my experience, you see one cockroach and there's dozens more, right? So it's
And then just
you
imagine
see one thrall. And it's
No.
like,
If you see a cockroach in a local game store that you might know, there's only one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we killed it immediately.
He's
That's
a singular
Gary.
guy. Trust me.
You killed Gary?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. So that realistically is the final fate of Sarpedia. But it's not the final legacy of Sarpedia. Sarpedia does kind of persist on. There's these little references and things like that we've mentioned, right? Like cards like Turok and things like that get cards much later on in Magic, when game designers are looking back and they're like, man, I really want it. I wish that guy got a card. Right?
It is funny, like you talk about like how lame this set is. Something like Slyn Voda, a giant Leviathan that the merfolk live on. They're like, oh, we won't give that a card, but we're going to give any of the other non-Suri a card. You know what I mean? So it's like somebody Commander Legends comes back and is looking for inspiration, and they look at that set and they're like, oh, here's this amazing character that we never touched on. Like, what? Okay, okey-dokey.
Yeah, again, like as a reference later on in when we go to the continent of Otaria in the Onslaught block, right? There aren't any merfolk in that setting, but they wanted to have a merfolk in one of the sets. His name is Ambassador Lequatus. And I know, right? So then it's clearly someone on the development team was like, man, I kind of really like the look of the Fallen Empire's merfolk. Let's just make him a refugee from Vidalia.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
tracks.
So like when there's just like a random merfolk that pops up, it's like whatever. He's just from that giant Leviathan city, which is kind of cool. But the legacy of this set is tied to another character who didn't get a card for a long ass time and then got one in Commander Legends, which is Tevish Zat. Now, you may or may not know Tevish Zat. He has a Planeswalker card. He is a Planeswalker in lore. He is like a big dragony, demony looking guy. I'm going to show you a picture of him, and you might recognize him purely from the art.
No.
This guy.
Yeah, I thought he had something to do with the Brothers' War.
Yeah,
and
isn't his lore attached to Urza's lore?
So it does become attached, not with the Brothers' War, but with the war against Phyrexia much later on.
He gets
but this set is his origin story.
He gets also turned into a battery, right? In the mechs. the power armor.
Yeah, he becomes one of the 9 Titans.
Yeah, so I think I know that bit of the story, but I
Yes.
didn't realize that it originated from here.
This is where he comes from. This is effectively, this entire setting could just be, and this is where Tevesh Zat comes from.
Interesting. So
Right.
what nationality or creature is he?
So he was part of the Faralites, or more specifically, his sister was. You know that guy that I said, you know, the curmudgeonly old like priest guy that had the hots for a woman that didn't want him. That woman was Tevesh Zat's sister, and so Tevesh Zat was this kind of moody hermit that mostly kept to himself, and his sister keeps coming to him and being like, "Hey, societies are going way downhill. You should probably intervene, right? The Order of the Ebon Hand and the Faralites are fighting, and the goblins and the orcs are over there looking threatening, and the elves are constantly complaining that they don't have any food sources, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, somewhere over in the oceans, if like
They just look to the ocean and there's just bubbles rising to the top, like a bit of whitewash, and they're like, that can't be good.
That could be good.
yeah, exactly. They're like, yeah, merfolk just wash up on shore as like corpses or something every now and then. So eventually he gets involved, but his sister gets killed, right? His sister gets massacred by Thalids in a he finally kind of gets drawn in, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna help out. And then they're traveling and they get attacked, and he gets pulled away from the fight, and Thalids kill his sister, right? So he lived. His chronology is kind of hard to place exactly because he is from Sarpedia, but he did live and have a lot of his life during the Brothers' War, like the actual Brothers' War conflict. But of course, it's on Sarpedia, so like none of that overlaps.
Yeah, this is also way later in the timeline, right? Because he planeswalkers and he gets to live for quite a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he does. Because after his sister dies, he becomes a planeswalker. That ignites his planeswalker spark, and from there. Tevesh Zat is really one of the planeswalkers that takes the idea that planeswalkers don't have to have a physical body to its sort of limit, because he feels like a bad guy. He feels like he's separate from humanity. He doesn't really care about them. So he just fully morphs his body more and more and more dragony as far as he's concerned. I think he kind of looks more like a snake personally, but he gets like a very not human face. He has tentacles and stuff. And that's purely just like... that's his own self-reflection. That's how he feels, so that's how he physically manifests himself. A lot of planeswalkers in this time were humanoid, and then when they became planeswalkers, they mostly just kept their humanoid bodies, right? They're like, that's what I look like. You know, and there's brief mentions of how Urza would have a conversation with someone and forget how physical bodies work. So he'd walk across the room and then push his face through the back of his head to keep talking to them.
Wow.
Right? And like people would be really freaked out by that. And he's like, oh yeah, you can't do that. Fuck, I forgot. Like,
I guess there's things that happen when you live for millennia, right?
You know that trick where you make your thumb disappear that your granddad would do?
yeah.
He was just really good at those.
Yeah.
oh man, I just feel like it because I've had that scene like locked into my head since I read it from a book fucking ages ago, and I just can't imagine Urza pushing his head through the back of his face and not having to like brush the hair out of his eyes, right? Like his hands would then also have to. It's a whole thing.
I'm a man of convenience, right? And you know, everyone knows here like Nem, the burger boy, and quite often we'll be chatting, and he'll follow me while I need to go pee, so I go pee in the toilet. But imagine I could walk towards the tray, not turn around, and just push my penis backwards out of the other side of my body, so I could pee while still chatting and facing at him.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I'm not.
You lost me there.
I wasn't
somewhere
expecting
about.
it to go there.
Yeah. It
But
makes
I
more
kind
sense.
of
It
get
makes
it.
more sense the Urza way, where you piss forward and your head turns around.
Yeah.
Yes, that does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you're just pissing out.
Well,
of your
think
butt.
about it like as from a evolutionary standpoint, you're always the most like in trouble.
What
when
if
you're-
you just became like an owl? Like you just turn your head around the whole way.
Oh, true.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, it would be kind of useful if we like pissed out the back somewhere, because then you'd never piss on your shoes, right? Like,
Yeah.
'cause, you know, like you wouldn't get any dribble.
But we really hard to
But then
aim
if
backwards.
you did have any dribble on your pants, then you would have no idea.
Yeah.
Or could you like you could steal from a vending machine because you could put your arm through the bottom and like just bend it in
Oh,
multiple
nice,
directions.
nice.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, also like physical bodies.
wonder if
aren't
you're-
a thing,
if you're
right?
good
You
enough-
just go through the glass.
Oh, yeah,
If you're a
that
good
makes
enough
sense, yeah.
planeswalker, you just teleport
Yeah,
the
but the
piss out
thing
of
wouldn't
you.
be able to go through the glass.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is your pee a planeswalker?
I know. I prefer the idea of you just teleport the piss out of you. You're like, oh shit, I gotta go pee. Boom, and
Oh,
now it's in the toilet.
it's like the water bending in
Yeah.
in Avatar where you
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
you can pull it out of yourself.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but we can all be waterbending. It's called aiming.
That would be so fucking good though. If while someone, we never got to see a scene like that in Avatar,
Yeah.
but like while someone was pissing, a waterbender goes past and just like flips it up into the guy's face.
Nightmare, dude.
Your own stream comes back at you.
Also, like me knowing, like every like curious 11-year-old boy, if you're a waterbender, you'd be like, oh, I cast piss. You know what I mean?
And also, if you don't wear protection while having intercourse, you might get firebending.
Remember to wear leathers when you're on your bike, otherwise you'll
This is
come
why
off
people
and get
don't take
earthbending.
waterbending seriously. Yeah.
What do
This
you
is why people don't take waterbending seriously.
Yeah, no,
That didn't come up in the cartoon at all.
fun fact, right? Like the piss thing that we just mentioned
Mm-hmm.
is a legitimate loophole. Like it's like a plot hole in Avatar in the cartoon,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a prison for a long time where waterbenders get kept, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like kept away from all sources of hydration. So the lady there, she has to learn, oh shit, there's water inside of everybody, inside their blood, and she
Mm-hmm.
learns how to bloodbend, right? But everyone has to piss,
Yeah.
right? So
Well,
is
actually,
piss not water?
if you're kept incredibly dehydrated, you don't piss.
What everyone does is everyone spits in a corner until you accumulate enough spit.
Yeah, no, so they do mention that they keep them separate and they keep the air like dry and recirculated so that there's not any moisture in
Coming
the
in,
air,
yeah.
right? And they give them like licks of fruit rather than
Yeah,
drinks
maybe
of
maybe
water.
there's just not enough. Like your body can't produce enough pee.
Yeah, like if it's a hot Australian day and like I do like labouring and like on the like working like outside, right? If you can drink liters of water and you still not pee on those
right,
on
because
those hot days,
your
where
body's just going to use it all.
just using it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, that maybe makes sense. I had always wondered about that, but now that does.
You're
kinda
wondering
make
why
sense.
waterbending's not taken seriously? There's your answer, buddy. You got to carry the water around you at all times. You know what I mean? Airbending's like you got to breathe, right? Firebending, they just make it out of themselves.
Yeah, well,
So-
I'm a little mad they don't have to bring like a flint with them everywhere. What's going on?
No, they just shoot it out of their hands.
Gotta
Because
make
then they'd be lame. They'd be like Pyro from X-Men, where he has to have a lighter on him at all
Mm-hmm.
times. And it's like, oh, he can manipulate fire, but he can't make it.
Can't make it.
That sucks. That sucks.
So he goes into space and he's like, I have no good here.
But the immediate moment bloodbending was introduced, you just now it's on.
Yeah, now it's
now it's
serious.
just I cast you
Yeah.
die.
Oh yeah.
So-
Well, see, that's the thing though. I guess I'm being sidetracked because Fallen Empire's lore it's not that deep. By Avatar lore, the bloodbending only really works under the full moon. You need like
They're safe to get it. I'm back to being waterbending brain.
yeah. You need fully powered up waterbending.
And they need to be
Yeah.
werewolves.
Waterbenders get their power from the moon. It's a thing because the moon was the very first
tides.
waterbender.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's clever. I actually
Yeah.
like that.
All of the bending nations get their like bending from somewhere. So the Water Nation gets it from the moon. The Fire Nation gets it from dragons. The Air Nation gets it from bison, air
Yep.
bison, appa,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the big old flying creatures.
and the Earthbenders get it from badger moles.
The dragon one is the cooler one.
The dragon one is kind of the cool. Although the dragons themselves did also kind of learn it from the sun.
That's okay. Yeah, also
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to go from dragon to badger mole.
Yeah, it's hard to take those
See, the badger
seriously.
mole, the badger mole are fucking cool though.
To be fair though, I don't
It's just less
see any
aggressive than a
dragons
dragon.
in the Avatar world, right? They're like long gone or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but the badger mole still lives, so maybe
Yeah.
the dragons lost the war.
It is funny. So many
there are two dragons that are still around.
Gotcha.
like in most lore, so many dragons are like an extinct race in the lore, and I get that's part of the stories because they'd be infinitely powerful. But it's like I just imagine our ancestors ate them You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
it's
mammoths.
Yeah, like mammoths.
Yeah,
Yeah, they like think they could survive thousands of years on this planet, and then humans come along and we just eat the shit out of them.
Or like we just competed with them for food sources, right? Like
Yeah.
they're a really big creature. They would need a lot of food. If we just got good at like farming and we kept all the food for ourselves, they might starve.
True.
But yeah, in Avatar, they did hunt the dragons effectively to extinction. When the Fire Nation was ruling, they became really good at firebending and just sort of forgot the idea that dragons are important. So they used to do like ritual hunting of dragons, and then by doing that, you would gain the title of dragon. So Zuko's uncle Iroh was the last person canonically to get the title of dragon. Except he didn't hunt a dragon. He found the last two and kept their location secret. He's
What
like,
a
oh,
bro.
he's like, oh yeah, I killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Iroh is fucking awesome.
He Parthenaxed that shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
like, yeah, I don't need to kill these dragons anymore.
Yeah, exactly. He looked the dragons in the eye and was like, shh, I won't tell anyone.
I haven't watched a lot of Avatar, but people really like this Iroh character. He got
Oh,
6
my God.
cards in the set. 6 depictions of Iroh.
Iroh is so fucking good. Iroh is quite genuinely one of my favorite characters in fiction. He voiced by the legendary Mako.
He is. Wait, no, keep going.
Mako? Yeah.
I think someone's voiced by Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah, that's Firelord Ozai.
Gotcha. Yes.
Yeah, that's so good. The Joker is the bad guy. Well, I mean, he's not really the Joker, but it's Mark Hamill, right?
It's widely regarded in like DC fandom that Joker's voice is Mark Hamill's voice.
So you're a big Avatar guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Should we do a lore dive on the Avatar one?
We can if you want. Yeah. I love Avatar. I rewatched the entire series. Sort of, I guess, preparation, really hype just for the new set coming out. I also really enjoyed the sequel series, Legend of Korra. I know a lot of people didn't, but it's also really cool. Expands on the lore a whole bunch. Avatar works as a magic.
Should we give it a go? Should we do some homework?
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Because I checked it out on Netflix. The episodes are only like 20 minutes long.
How many episodes are there?
There's about like 30 episodes a season, and there's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
They're called books.
Yeah, but you can punch through them because they're like it's designed for Saturday morning cartoons. So the episodes without ads is just 20 minutes long.
It's crazy that it feels like such a cultural touchstone to a lot of people, and only be 3 seasons.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that it's presented like a series of books, right? And each episode is a chapter in that book.
So it's a very definitive starting and end to a story.
Do you have a
Yes.
preference for bending? If you could choose a bending, which one would you like?
Oh, I bend it. Mine bends a little bit to the left.
Me too.
I think playing. We played draft and a few things. I think earthbending was my favorite.
Earthbending is the cool one, right? Because you're
Yeah.
doing all the martial arts and kicking rocks around everywhere.
Oh, I
See,
love
all
kicking
of
rocks.
them are martial arts,
Sure.
right? But they're like inspired by different things.
Yeah.
In the sequel series, which is kind of aimed at more of like a preteen audience rather than a child.
Because they
audience.
matured the show alongside the maturing of the audience,
Yeah.
right?
Well, arguably, it's actually more of a teen show than anything else. Avatar Korra, you get to see like the darker side of all of the elements. Because in the first series, Aang is the only airbender, right? You get little brief flashbacks to his people, but there are more airbenders, spoiler alert, in Avatar of Korra. Legend of Korra. But there's one guy who's like an airbending terrorist. And he very infamously airbends the air out of someone's lungs.
Oh.
Like he just fucking traps their head in like an air bubble and sucks it out of them so that they asphyxiate and die while like gasping for
Yeah,
air.
this was always
Metal.
because I remember back when I was a kid, this was always the debate of like airbending was Aang was casting it very much in a utility, almost like
he
naive,
uses it
joyful
to
way.
like evade
Yeah,
and dodge.
but
and-
realistically, in a sort of real context, if you can manipulate air, it's extremely lethal.
I'd bend the fart out of you into your own nose.
That's a now that is what I would use airbending for as well.
in classic
bet.
Danny fashion, you make an offhanded joke. It's a real thing in lore.
Oh, what it is, I just have no original ideas. Apparently,
There's a fart bender in Legend of Korra. There's a fart bender in Legend of Korra.
do you think if we ever if this set sells well, we'll go back to the Legend of Korra, and then we can eventually have a fart bend card?
Maybe. I would love to see, I want to say his name's Miko. But basically, Aang has kids. One of those kids has a bunch of children who become airbenders, right? Like, it turns out it's passed, like, genetically. So he has, like, a 7-year-old that is learning how to airbend, and there's no other airbending real society around him other than his dad. So he just kind of rebels and becomes a fart bender.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm on
I
board.
respect it, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he like, because Aang could do this thing where he would like cup air into a bowl and then be able to like ride around on that bowl. And the Firebender does
of
the
like
exact same
in
thing
Dragon
where he
Ball Z.
can.
He just launches himself around.
Well, he can like shoot a fart ball. at
Oh,
people.
damn it. Never mind. I thought he was going to jetpack himself around through a spot.
He can like. He does use, he can like accelerate the air out of his own body to do like super jumps and stuff.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is
He
pretty
does
cool.
the Wario jump. Where he does the Wario double jump where he
Yeah,
farts.
yeah, pretty much. Yes, exactly. He does literally that.
It's Captain Flatulence.
Earthbending gets 2 new upgrades in that series as well. They get metal bending, which is kind of also introduced in this one
pretty
because
OP.
it turns out that there's earth and metal, and they also get lava bending.
Oh, it's cool.
Lava
Seems a little
bending is-
fiery adjacent, but sure.
Yeah, it's like because there's
It's like hybrid bending, right?
there's references that like if you kind of do an overlap between the bending, you can unlock different styles. Like in firebending, lightning bending is an offshoot of firebending closer to water bending because it's all about channeling energy.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. I get it.
And yeah, they talk like Iroh is one of the only people to have figured out lightning bending because it's like he's the only person that actually shows respect for other nations, and all the other firebenders like, psh, we're the best. So it's a pretty cool thing.
That's pretty cool.
Well, wrapping up Fallen Empires.
Yes.
So,
The classic.
Yeah, so honestly, I kind of expected this to happen. Is we would talk about Fallen Empires, but we went on a bunch of tangents about
get it,
more
you know?
interesting shit.
Yeah.
well, to be fair, I'm glad we touched upon Fallen Empires. I think it's still, as a piece of history, it's like there's a reputation for being the worst set in Magic, but there's still little hints of its long-lasting legacy and ideas. And then ultimately it comes down to if I can just appreciate the set for trying something new.
I'm
That is-
really excited.
Yeah, that's true.
To hear that I wasn't aware that the hominids are out there somewhere and could make a mysterious return one day.
Modern Horizons 4, baby. Let's
Yes,
do it.
they are, for all intents and purposes, the legacy
Lobster
of the
Tribal,
set.
dude.
If we ever get like a seafood dinner kind of secret lair situation going on, like the hominids are in let's go.
What's a universes beyond that we could port over onto the hominids? Are there lobster people in anything else?
Red Lobster restaurant in America.
Oh, we already
No,
had,
I went bankrupt. It's gone, right?
just
yeah,
we
too bad,
already
you
had
know.
the SpongeBob one. We could have gone to Mr. Krabs.
Oh, that is
yeah.
true.
yeah.
But yeah, I like.
Oh no,
I'll-
South Park with the crab.
Yeah.
People, crab people.
I always appreciated that Fallen Empire is a set where a single card can have multiple artistic depictions. That's
Yes.
really cool. It was different, and maybe eventually down the track, that was one of the ideas that they use for future sets as like an influence. But yeah, just one of those things where even though none of the mechanicals kind of gel together well, them trying something new was them expanding the boundaries out, right?
Yeah.
What do we have for next set?
Well, next set is Ice Age. Next
Nice.
set is Ice Age. It feels like for the last couple of episodes that we've been doing of this that we keep referencing like I feel like Ice Age is next. I feel like Ice Age is next, and it's all been interim points. And then we
And
actually
this is
get to go
and
into
Ice Age is the next big plot point, right? This is the next plot driver forward in the story to see.
It's effectively the next big setting, right? Like we're on Dominaria, and we've had ancient Dominaria, and then a little bit of civilization, and then the civilization gets darker, and now we're going to go to Ice Apocalypse world. And we get a whole bunch of new different civilizations. We get a whole bunch of different new creatures. We get brand new mechanics. We actually get the introduction kind of to the block idea, the idea of blocks. Ice Age is the first block, kind of.
It had
80
was
squared.
this one two?
Kind of 3.
Kind of 3.
Because Ice Age, you get Ice Age and alliances. So I'm going to be doing those mostly together.
Yep.
Because they're things tie together. And then way later, we got Cold Snap.
Yes, correct.
And
yeah.
Cold Snap was like wink, wink, meant to be like, oh, this is the third Ice Age set that we forgot to print,
right.
But it never was, because it's not.
It's like a callback, right?
Yeah, they were like, oh, well, what if we designed a sequel to a 1995 set?
Cool.
Do we want to dredge up cards from this set?
We're the hour 30 mark.
Yeah.
And also, go check out Fallen Empires. It's not a realistically. it's not a very large.
Well, you
set.
don't have to.
Yeah, it's not a very large set of cards to go through. If you want to pull up the images, have a look through. There's a lot of really interesting cards. A lot of, once again, nostalgic art from like Phil Foglio. And
Is there anything you're playing at all from the set?
the only one that has, in my opinion, significance is, well, actually, there's two cards, right? It's Him to Torak. Sees a lot of legacy play.
Which was this original printing in here or was printed
I
before?
believe original.
Yeah, this is the original printing
print.
because Turok was introduced.
from here, yeah, okay,
Yes,
cool.
it's his him.
It's one of those weird oddity of old school Magic design where it was a card that makes your opponent discard two cards at random. Wizards of Coast don't like printing cards say random anymore, especially not ones that make your opponent discard.
Yeah, it's also 2 cards for 2 mana,
Exactly.
which is a really efficient
Very
way.
efficient.
good rate, yeah.
So it sees a lot of legacy play, a lot of long-standing influence. High Tide is a blue card that gives you a lot of blue mana.
You reckon it's a reason we don't see him to Turek in any modern Magic?
Because it's not
banned.
modern legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not modern legal, and there's kind of a reason for that. There are certain games that just accidentally end when you him to Turok
Yeah.
someone, right? Like your opponent goes land drop, you were on the play, so you went land drop, and then you play your second land, you him to Turok them, you discard the lands out of their hand completely by accident, just totally at random.
Yep.
Now they never draw a land for the rest of the
Game's
game,
over.
and they're stuck on 1.
Correct.
Could you play in Highlander then? Or
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's legacy playable.
Yeah.
Like back in my day, I say the reason why I decided to give Legacy a go was because I played someone's Grixis control deck and they had 4 copies of Him to Torak, and I was like, this card is awesome fun to play with. Not for my opponent, but I was able to go Him to Torak and then Snapcast the Mage Him to Torak and make my opponent discard 4 cards.
Yeah,
it was
and
amazing.
It's very regularly to just go like Swamp Thoughtseize, swamp Him to Turok you, and your opponent is now so
3
far
down.
behind
Yeah.
that if you then also put together like evoking a grief on one of those turns, their hand has nothing in it.
Yeah.
And this was-
Especially if they mulligan.
And there was this was like Grixis Control was like the premier control deck at this time. Nowadays, it's funny to say that Legacy is much faster, and then Him to Torak is no longer the premier, control card anymore. In fact, control is not really a format anymore. Like, control is not really an archetype in Legacy anymore at the moment. But yeah, that was back then. It was just the big card.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's great. If I'm in black and I'm playing Hand Disruption, I want to find space for it. And they've tried to make modern versions of it, but the modern versions always have to have like a caveat to them, which never makes them good.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I remember in Eldritch Moon they made one that was kind of that because it was 1 in a black. Target opponent discards a card at random, and then if you meet Delirium, they discard a second card at random.
Yeah.
But it's just not good enough. Like, because you can never guarantee that you're going to get it on 2.
Yeah. And then High Tide is the next big card that's played out of the set. It's just 1 blue mana to make all your islands tap for an additional blue. Surprisingly, very good in Pauper. Got banned in Pauper recently.
Yeah, it's a storm card, right? Like you just have one huge turn with it. Especially if you outside of Pauper combine it with Candelabra of Tornos.
Oh,
You
I
get
see.
to make more mana, and you pay X to untap X lands, but you're making more mana per land than you are.
Yeah.
And you might have cost more than 1 High Tide.
It gets pretty ridiculous.
Banging.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much, Matt, for this set review
Not a
of Fallen
problem.
Empires. Always a pleasure to have you
I
back on.
always really enjoy doing these. Fallen Empires was a set that I didn't know the lore of, but it was fun to sort of delve back into it. We have a handful of characters that are fun. If anyone plays Turok, if anyone plays Tevish Zot, anyone plays Thalids, I used to.
They
Yeah.
still pop up here and there, right?
Yeah, and there was the guy that's responsible
Yeah.
for making the Thalids did get a Time Spiral card. His name was Thelen of Havenwood. He's
Oh,
not good.
nice. But did they errata Thales to just become saplings?
No, so they are fungus and they make sapperling.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of weird because then it means that they don't actually have a like crossover.
Because the modern functional equivalent is just saplings.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, fun fact: there was a card in this set that spiked by like 1,000% in fucking what was it, like 2017 or something, when Dominaria came out, and they printed Slimefoot,
Oh, yeah.
which was actually a good Sapperling commander. So there's a particular rare from this set that went from like 20 cents to like $7.
Yeah.
And now it's worth nothing again. So
Once again, Fallen Empire has fallen back to its hole.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for that weird time where fucking what's his name? Elvish Farmer. That's the guy. Elvish Farmer. Richard Kane Ferguson art. It's pretty nice. He was a $7 card for a brief period of time.
Well, I think I'm going to go find I'm gonna go find a copy of the one we talked about, the Nantoko that turns other things into forests.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually like that. I'm gonna turn some people's land.
Felonite Hermit? Felonite
Yeah.
Druid?
Druid, yeah.
Yeah.
And you just tap him and you just turn someone else's thing into a forest.
Yeah, I highly recommend if people like go back and look
like
at this
soft
set,
land
try
destruction.
and find
Yeah.
some interesting things in this set, because I personally really enjoy playing Night Soil. Night Soil is a card here that
Mm-hmm.
you can just exile cards from 2 creature cards from the same graveyard to make a 1/1. It's repeatable. It's on an enchantment. I like it. It's also really funny because Night Soil in Japanese just means shit, right? Like when you're dropping some Night Soil.
Well, one of the guys came back, Connor, who's just been on the podcast, actually. He popped back. He came back from Japan yesterday.
Yeah.
And he came to me and was talking about they went and bought a bunch of Magic cards there because over there, the English cards are worth less money than the Japanese cards,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yep.
But generally speaking, that's the other way around.
good
right?
value.
And he's also, they had a bunch of sealed boosters in English going all the way back to like pretty early on, like Fallen
the
Empires
90s
and
and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So he said that this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of collection that just sort of doesn't really exist in places in Perth.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of things like either didn't exist at that time or it gets bought out from collectors, you know?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to build that stockpile, right? Because you just sell it off as you get it and sell it off as you get it. So yeah,
Yeah. All right.
It
Thank
was,
you very
it
much.
Was, it was
folks.
fun touching back in the sec. I will see you guys next time for Ice Age and Alliances.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
Sooner than later then.
Lovely.
Pleasure. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Catch you around. Bye-bye.